I want to read you something from Twitter going back to the Texas Senate race. I can't tell you I know this 100%, but I talked about it on the morning meeting. I'll say it again. If you think James Talarico is going to become the senator from Texas without a thorough proctological exam of everything he's ever said and written and done, you are wrong. And you don't need to be the best opposition researcher in the history of opposition research to start going at look at this guy. Okay, talked about the New York Post story and his online relationships with OnlyFans models. Okay, so now here's a tweet highlighted moments ago by Chris LaCivita, consultant to the Cornyn super PAC and one of President Trump's political consultants. This is a tweet he did in 2021. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm just telling you, this is the tip of the tip of the tip of the iceberg of what you're going to see about this guy. Now, maybe he'll be like Donald Trump and Bill Clinton and walk through fire that no one else could survive, but I tend to doubt it. Here we go. This is like reads like a haiku, or it's formatted like each line is separate. This is from March of 21. So he could say when he was young and irresponsible, he was young and irresponsible as a full 5 years ago. Black Americans in a church, Mexican Americans in a store, Asian Americans in a spa, radicalized white men are the greatest domestic terrorist threat in our country. Now, I don't know how that's going to play in the honky tonks of rural Texas, but I doubt very well. I doubt very well. Yemisi, if Mr. Talarico called you up and said, Yemisi, I want to hire you, and I want you to just run a war room, do some self-oppo on me, and respond to all this stuff, how would you go about that?
First, I would say, admit to me that white people lost their minds in 2020 and 2021 on the internet.
That'd be a
And
good
I would
start.
also, yeah, I would say, okay, well, sit down, have a one-on-one conversation with a podcast, or I think sitting down again with Joe Rogan or an Andrew
Right.
Schultz, one of those
But
center
what, but
right
what,
right
but
podcasts about these.
all these are all good ideas, but just the first step. How would you do the self-oppo? Here's the tweet, by the way. Black Americans in a church, Mexican Americans in a store. I don't really
I
understand it,
get
to
it.
tell
I
you the
get no.
truth.
He's referring to the shootings. He's referring to the
Yeah,
shootings that
yeah.
happened. The Asian Americans in
Where
spa.
where's he? Where's the Asian American in a spa?
In the spa down
Atlanta
in Georgia.
Oh,
several
right.
years ago.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Radicalized
So
men are
there
the
is
greatest.
framing.
All right. Yeah.
It's
Okay.
I get what he's
Yeah.
trying to say here.
Yeah.
And all of those shootings, white men were
But
involved.
right.
There is a point here. It's the
Right.
language that
Yeah,
really
yeah.
takes him.
But just talk about how you do self-oppo. Like, would you say to him, tell me all the social media platforms you've been on, to show me your finances, tell me if you've ever used illegal drugs. Like, how would you get ready to respond to this stuff? Because it's gonna
Yeah. Well,
come and it's gonna knock him out of the race, I think.
I mean, I would have already done a deep dive of his social media, and he does have a lot of young folks that are helping run his
Yeah.
campaign. So I'm actually surprised there isn't like
Maybe there
heat
is,
up
but
any
maybe
count of, yeah, there should
maybe
already
there
be some
is.
stuff rolling out on this. But I mean,
How
we're out of that kind
how
of
old
like
how old is
2020 20.
yeah. How old is he? How old is that guy?
I think he's
How
36.
is it?
36. So
But
he's
he's not
barely
He's got a
40. He's
baby
not yet
face.
40.
he's barely old enough to be a senator.
Yeah, I think he's 36.
Yeah.
He's a youngin.
Yeah. Christine, what do you, being a man of faith is what people always cite that might have appeal to more moderate voters, but what do you find appealing about him, if anything?
I think he reads moderate. He's not a flamethrower. He's not going around cursing and like making radical TikTok videos and sort of playing to an extremely online audience.
Yeah.
His faith is interesting. I mean, that hasn't been a popular way for Democrats to speak, but he is very liberal evangelical Christian, and there are these gradations among Protestants, and he's the seminary he attended and whatnot. I mean, it's a very liberal strain of Protestantism. I mean, he said, God is non-binary. That's not something that the average a lot of people would go, huh?
Yeah.
So he does have a very progressive view even of his own faith, but it is the way he talks about it. And I do think on the right and the left, there are a lot of people, center left, center right, who are looking for candidates who don't just want to be Instagram influencers or bomb throwers. And he does read in that way, at least on the trail. He's not a great retail politician, though. He kind of lectures people.
Yeah, that's true. Here's another golden oldie tweet from the guy who you say is not a bomb thrower. Let's see when this is from. This is from 20.
2020.
White skin gives me and every white American immunity from the virus, but we spread it wherever we go. through our words, our actions, and our systems. We don't have to be showing symptoms like a white hood or Confederate flag to be contagious. The only cure is diagnosing the virus within ourselves and taking dramatic actions to contain the spread. The first small step is proclaiming loudly and unequivocally that Black Lives Matter. Again, if you were running
So much moral grandstanding there.
yeah, if you're running in
What a
Minnesota,
time.
if you're running in the congressional district in which I live on the Upper West Side of Manhattan, these things could be good. But I just think in Texas, that's going to cut you off from a certain number of members of the electorate. And I'll say again, no Democrat has won statewide in Texas in nearly 40 years. And if you said,
Looking at you, Lloyd Benson.
take away Ann Richards, take away his Joe Rogan appearance and the fact that Vanity Fair loves him, and just say just one metric: could the person who wrote that tweet win statewide in Texas? No, they just couldn't. Sorry, not going to happen. I'm just amazed at how much money he's going to raise. They should take the $100 million and build daycare centers in Texas, because he's going to be flushing it down the toilet, assuming the president endorses Cornyn. We'll see. Thank you for being part of the two-way experience on this historic day. And when you speak about history, first thing that comes to mind is the Cozy Earth bubble cuddle blanket. Why do I say that? Thomas Jefferson had a bubble cuddle blanket. FDR had one too. And now you can join a long line of presidential greats by buying your own bubble cuddle blanket. Go to cozyearth.com, use the promo code two-way for 20% off everything on the site, including the historic bubble cuddle blanket. It's called the blanket of presidents. I don't know if you know that. You can also get the Baja bedding set, the Lux bath towel set, and then the pants. The pants are spectacular. They'll change your life. I wore the pants to my doctor's appointment today, and my doctor couldn't stop talking about them. At one point, I have to say, "Doc, get back to the examination. Enough with the pants. Yes, they're wonderful." He asked me where I got them. I said, cozyearth.com. And then, even though he's not technically a member of the two-way community, I gave him the promo code. I'm going to write to the New York Times ethicist and see if that was okay. Anyway, cozyearth.com, promo code two-way, 20% off everything on the site. Hey, want to be part of the two-way community all the time? Hit the subscribe button. Great video clips like this, plus conversations like no other, full episodes, and more, always available on this channel. You got to hit subscribe to never miss a thing. You can now listen to full episodes of The Morning Meeting and Two Way Tonight on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.